Welcome to Watch Hobby Shop. My name is Joe, and today we're going to be taking a look at the classic Breitling Avenger II and 43 millimeter chronograph. So let's go ahead and dive down and take a look at this classic Breitling watch. All right, guys, we're going to be taking a look at the Breitling chronograph Avenger II and a 43 millimeter. The basic specs on this, you are looking at a 43 millimeter from diameter here to diameter. That's excluding the crown and the pushers, as well as it's running a caliber 13 from Breitling, which is essentially ETA Valjoux 7750, 48-hour power reserve. It is cost certified. It holds up to 300 meters or 1,000 feet water resistance. It's approximately 16.5 millimeter case thickness. Don't let that fool you, because when it does sit on the wrist, it sits a little bit thinner than that. Lug tip to lug tip, you are looking at about 52 millimeters. Again, the specs might seem kind of big, but again, this is a Breitling watch, so there's no getting around it. It is a big, thick, chunky watch, but it does fit pretty well because of the curved down lugs. Very dramatic curve downs on this. It does have a sapphire crystal. It's slightly domed, as you guys can see there. Has a beautiful unidirectional bezel. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but it does have a nice audible click. It's nice and firm. Absolutely no back play at all. Has just the right enough tension and lines up perfectly. And I think I went a little too far. Let's go back over and have these rider tabs. That's about the easiest way to turn the bezel on this type of watch, is these little rider tabs on here. Makes it a lot easier to be able to turn the bezel on this. Now, I don't know if you guys can see on here on the dial, I love the original Breitling wing logo. For some reason, the newer ones, I did own some of the newer Breitlings with the new logo. I'm not a big fan of it. For some reason, it's not for me. I prefer the older Breitlings, the original ones. They stay true to their heritage. Definitely a pilot watch slash diver's watch, because it is 1,000 meters water resistance. The winding on a Valjoux is nice and tight. The only downfall to this is that the Valjoux movements, the rotors, you can hear that wobble when it spins. I can feel it wobble a little bit. It has knurling on the pushers. It is a screw down crown, signed B logo. It has the 3 registers right here. That's going to be your running seconds hand by the 9 o'clock. And then it has a nice click when you push the pusher in to start the chronograph. As you guys can see, the chronograph hand, I think, moves nice and steady. Some people say they're stutters. I must have got lucky. This one actually runs pretty good. And then when you're ready to stop it, I usually try to at least run the second hand past the 30 seconds, just to leave a little bit less wear and tear on the gears. So you kind of want to run a little bit longer before resetting the second hand on the chronograph. And so I go ahead and stop it, and it just flies right back at the 12 o'clock position right away. Now, this variant did come on a stainless steel, but I had still stainless steel band. I had to take it off because, first of all, the watch head is already heavy as it is already. It's probably about 150 grams. With the stainless steel band, you're gonna add another 100 grams at least. So over 250 grams on your wrist kind of puts a lot of wear and tear on your wrist wearing the watch. But let's go ahead and put it on the wrist so I can show you guys that I did put it on a nice leather band. It's actually calf leather. Has the original Breitling buckle on this. As you guys can see, nice contrast stitching. And if you look, I have a 7-inch wrist. It doesn't really overhang. Put in the center of my wrist a little bit more. You guys can see 43 millimeter is not bad, especially for Breitling. They get up 46, 48 millimeters. That's a little bit too big for me. But this watch here, I think, is a great looking watch. It's a little bit beefy, has a little bit of thickness, a lot of wrist presence, but you know what? At the end of the day, it is a Breitling watch. So that's what they're known for. I know they're starting to slim down their watches, make them a little more elegant, but I don't think they're staying true to their heritage. I think this type of watch from Breitling is probably their best variants. Is the older Navitimers and the Avengers are probably the best ones. Colts are decent too, but they're kind of more entry level when you start getting into this brand. Other than that, this watch is actually running perfectly for me. I'm probably gaining only half a second per day. Doesn't matter what position it's in because it is cost certified. It's a beautiful timepiece. Get a lot of compliments because, like I said, it is a big watch, so everybody notices it. My main thing is that I love the old Breitling wing hands, or the wing logo is probably their best logo. I wish they would have kept that on all their watches, but they're starting to take that away and they're going with a different type of logo now. And especially with the ones with just the regular B in cursive, I'm not a big fan of that. And I've had a few of those, the Super Ocean Heritage 2s, some other newer Navitimers. I ended up flipping those. I just didn't like the aesthetics of it. I love the aesthetics of this. It's supposed to be a pilot's watch. Pilot watches are supposed to be big, and you have the water resistance as a dive watch. Obviously, you don't want to push the pushers while you're scuba diving or swimming. You will get water inside here. So make sure your crown is screwed down and you will have 1,000 meters of water resistance. So if you do like an everyday beater watch that's gonna be rugged, tough, durable, obviously it's not gonna be made to be worn with suits or formal wear, but good everyday outdoor watch, indoor watch. It's very legible. I like the black dial. It has great lume, also has a lume pip on top. There's not a whole lot bad to say about it. The only thing is, the negative would be subjective. If you don't like big watches, then this watch won't be for you. But with my 7-inch wrist, I think people with 7 3/4 all the way up to 8-inch wrists, this would fit perfectly. I don't know if they have a smaller variant. I think they might have a 41 or 42, but it's not a chronograph though. So if you want the smaller ones, you have to look at the Avengers. Unfortunately, these ones are discontinued, so you would have to get look online or find a reputable dealer that sells the pre-owned ones. Just double check on the service history and that you're getting a good watch. These watches are very dependable with the Valjoux 7750. You're not going to have any issues or problems with it. They've been using these for decades. So I would go ahead and say this is definitely a plus for me. Enough rambling on about that. If you guys like this watch, go ahead. I wouldn't hesitate trying to pick one of these up. Just make sure you contact whoever's selling the watch, get enough information before you pull the trigger on something like this. And I would recommend putting on the leather band. Even though I'm a stainless steel band guy, this watch belongs on a strap, in my personal opinion. It's a nice contrast to the dial. All right, let's take it back on top and I'll give you my final thoughts. So guys, with my final thoughts on this Breitling 2019 Avenger II, I believe that was the last year they produced this watch. It's actually now discontinued. I would definitely say that the older variants are personally my favorite ones because they still use the original like Valjoux 7750, which is very reliable ETA movement. The movements that are in-house, those are great movements too, because I know they also swapped with Tudor as well in their chronographs. They use the Breitling movement on their in-house movements. But I'm still old-fashioned. I still love the venerable 7750. The ETA Valjoux movement is very reliable. It's been true and tested for many, many years. So I would highly recommend, if you guys can find this variant, go ahead and pick one up. These are the classic ones, especially if you like the big style, chunky watches that Breitling used to make. Not overly too big. This is only 43 millimeters. I think this is a perfect watch for you guys if you guys can find these at a reasonable price, around $300 to $3,500. Until next time, guys, please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys in the next video.